I think they got you a few times in transition, getting some easy baskets. But in the half court, did you see some improvement in terms of keeping guys away from the basket defensively?
Yeah, at times, but guys picked up some fouls, and then they got a little leery about rotations. So until they proved they could beat us that way, they definitely weren't hitting from three like Western was Friday night. So we tried to not give them the good looks that when they get going, they can shoot the ball. That's a pretty good team as far as what we've seen in the past from Siena as an outside shooting team, but they just weren't on tonight. But a couple guys got to the rim. You know, when you're playing with a lead, how physical do you want to be on some of those drives? In a closer game, I think we'd have done a better job. We would have had to have done a better job on our rotations. Sometimes when you get a cushion, it also makes it easier to sub. So that helped too when you're playing with a lead. The two halves of the other night, we were outscored 7-2 and 7-zip. Much better job tonight to start the half and to start the second half, or the game in the second half.
Jim?
Bo, were you encouraged that when Nigel picked up the 2 fouls and had to sit, that you guys actually gained ground with him on the bench?
Sure. Well, I mean, you got to. The idea is not to pick up 2, and if you do, then probably sitting. And we weren't put into a position where we had to do anything drastic with the guys that had a couple fouls. Fortunately, because the other guys were taking care of business. That's why it's a team.
Jeff?
Bo, I know it's just 2 games, but Ethan appears to have a penchant for committing some fouls that maybe he doesn't have to go after, or be a little more careful. Anything you can do at this point?
Well, you know, in practice, he could whack Frank all he wanted, and we weren't going to call many fouls on him. So he might have picked up some bad habits last year when you're redshirting and you're the one true big on the scout team that can do some damage with Frank and Douye, Sam, and Nigel. So, yeah, he probably he's got to tone that down a little bit.
Zach?
Bo, I know you view the beginning of the game as kind of a feeling out period, but did you sense any panic from your guys at the beginning when they jumped out to that 16-13 lead? And if not, was that nice to see from such a young group? Some composure?
You know, after 44 years, if you think that some team taking a 3-point lead is going to have me panic, no. So therefore, why should the players? They're the ones playing, and they're the ones that have something to say about it. So I would hope they didn't. Or if they did and they played that well, then, hey, let's have a panic party. Not a pity party, a panic party.
Jim?
Bo, with a young team, did you think they were pretty attentive last night when you met for clips and practice? I mean, coming off that loss.
Normal. Yeah, it was normal. I think they saw some things that they knew they could. I mean, as any team would. I mean, there's no way in the world you can play a 40-minute basketball game and not have teaching points. Whether you're 2 points down at the end of the game or 2 points up or 30 up or whatever it is, there's always something you can learn. And we've been fortunate over the decade and a half to have guys that have listened.
Zach?
Bo, Vito had a great finish, or a really solid finish on Friday night to his night. Did it carry over to today, tonight? How well he played most of the game?
Yeah, you know, he seemed a little more focused. He was a little more under control, and that's what he's going to have to do. Sometimes he just gets sped up and struggles. Just go to speed limit. He thinks because they raised it to 70 on some of these highways that he's got to go faster at times. Stay at 65.
Coach, you flipped the script from Friday. You guys shot better, defended better, if it's percentage-wise, shot better with the free throw. Is it just a good sign, or is this just a young team that's going to have ups and downs? You can't.
I said it earlier. We're going to have some nights where we're going to look pretty doggone good, and we're going to have some nights where it might be. Are those guys impersonating Wisconsin basketball players? We might have a couple of those nights. But you got to work through them. A lot more games to play, and hopefully we'll be playing people where we can definitely learn from and get better from.
Anything else for Coach?
Obviously, Alex and Brevin played tonight. How did that process go as far as making that decision?
Well, Brevin's been shooting the ball well in practice, so I just wanted to see how he felt getting out on the court in that situation with the lead that we had. And Alex is he's had some spots in practice where defensively he'd give up like 3 baskets in a row, and he's had other situations in practice where he'll rotate well, block out, make good reads. And then on the offensive end, he's had practices, same thing, like all freshmen. Good practices, bad practices, and everything in between. Hey, we do what we do. We keep looking. That's all my coach ever told me. If you want to be on the floor and stay on the floor, you produce. Show it in practice. Get something done. That's how you get rewarded.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.